Hey guys, I said I wanted to make a video this evening. First off, I just wanted to let all of you know how impressed I am with all of your posts in the group and your posts on your personal page. And I'm really kind of curious to see what you guys think about all of that and how posting all of that, like, to the world or to your Facebook world, how that felt at first. If you felt like it got easier the more you did it, if it got a little less scary. Um, did you receive different types of feedback than what you were expecting? So in this thread, I want you to post your experiences with that. If you chose to do that part of the challenge, I I can remember doing all of that for the first time, and it was pretty scary, like I said before. But honestly, with time, you just learn to be yourself, and there's going to be people that accept you for who you are, and you'll learn to embrace them, and they'll embrace you. And you'll quickly understand and realize who in your life really isn't about who you are really and who you want to be. So, um, it's kind of funny, but I feel like this kind of a activity really helps you understand the people in your life that are there and that are really supporting you. Um, because don't take for granted all of the people in your life that are doing that for you, and don't be too blind or stubborn to realize that there are going to be people in your life that do hold you back from improving and being better. And sometimes we don't want to see who those people are, but honestly, it's best to figure that out early on, because you don't want all of your hard efforts to go to waste. But I'm really, really pleased with everything I've been seeing. My newsfeed has just been blowing up with all of you guys, and I like that. That's like the best thing about being a coach is um, when you see all of your challengers like really getting out of their shell. And in that token, like I said, there's quite a few challengers in this group that are actually coaches on my team, and it was really nice to see all of you guys too getting more vulnerable and putting yourselves out there more, because really that's really all that the only in my opinion the only difference between being a coach and a challenger, because all coaches are challengers. The difference is coming out of your shell and doing that more often, and not just about health and fitness or clean eating. It's about being yourself, without an apology to everyone about your whole life. But I just wanted to say a quick blurb about that. Um, but I also wanted to share something with you guys that to prove to you that I am human, and that even experienced seasoned coaches that have teams and have challenge groups and have hundreds of customers, that even we go through stuff that's just hard. And the past week or so, it seems like every day in the past week has been a celebration for something. um, Birthdays, graduations, just seeing friends, seeing family. And after the past week, I just am feeling drained. And mostly it's just because I'm not making workouts a priority. I'm not making my regimented eating a priority. I'm eating like a really good breakfast and then finding myself not eating again till almost dinner time. And then, the past few days when I have had dinners and whatnot, like I said, I've been with family, I've been with friends too, and different sides of the family, and it's hard. And I want you guys to understand that it's even hard for me. It's not it doesn't necessarily get easier as you go on. You just have to stay more focused, and you have to stay disciplined. And some of you know about my history with emotional eating, but I want you guys to understand that for me, I tend to stay away from sugars and I don't eat fast food, but sugars and just stuff that isn't healthy, because for me it's a very, very, very slippery slope. I think there are people out there that can eat those things in moderation and be fine. It's eating those things in moderation isn't what causes weight gain or for your clothes not to fit. That's not the issue with me. The issue for me is when I start eating some of those things, it becomes something that I think nonstop about. So, for instance, I'd had a nice dessert with Blaine on his birthday, and then we went out to eat, and his family got another dessert, and we shared it. And then when was it? This past weekend, of course, I went and saw my family, and so she knows that my favorite cake is pineapple upside down, so she made me a gluten-free pineapple upside down cake. And all of these things are nice, they taste good. But now, after eating these things for the past few days, literally it's hard for me to focus on anything else because I'm thinking about sugar. And being a coach and doing these groups is honestly, I think, what helps keep me at bay, because as a lot of you probably know, one thought about it can lead to doing it, and then doing it every day, then doing it several times a day. And that's why when I talk about sugar, I do talk about it from like an addiction standpoint, because for me it's such a slippery slope. And so I wanted to share with you guys that little snippet about my life, because for the past several days I literally think about it all the time. It's like, it literally feels like an addictive property, and so much of sugar is. And so I want you guys to understand that when you're going through your journey. If you know that you have a history of emotional eating, and you have a history of using sugar to fulfill that need, and also don't think of, I'm not talking about sugar as just only sweets. Like for me, it tends to be sweets, but sugar can mean just processed food too. Because, if you look at most processed foods that are not clean, they're filled with sugar. So if you know that when you have certain emotions, or once you start, it's hard to get going again, you have to really respect that part of your struggle. And, like I said, the past few days of what I've experienced could easily turn into a complete relapse and binging and hiding. And, I'm so thankful that that's not happening. But I want you guys to understand that for me, clean eating isn't about weight loss, and it's not about, looking better. It's about feeling better and feeling good about my choices, and feeling focused. Because, the past few days of eating the way I've eaten, it's just made my brain drained, and my body drained. I just don't feel good. And, I think there are a lot of new challengers in this group. And so it's important for you guys to hear me talk about the fact that your issues, or your probable issues with food in the past, it's not necessarily something you can just wish away. You have to really take the time to understand why those food behaviors exist. And then that's how you learn and get better, and how you move on from it. I just drank pre-workout, and since I haven't worked out in a few days, I drank the E&E by Beachbody, which has a lot more jolt to it. So if you hear me shaking, it's because I feel like I'm hyped up and high on E&E. But anyways, so just realize that nobody's perfect. It's not like you should be striving for perfection. And I think once you realize that, it takes the edge off of the whole thing. Okay? So, really think about your long-term goal here. Long-term goals aren't to lose weight. They're not, I don't even think they're to feel better. I think long-term goals have to be about what it is in your life that you want to be better overall, in general. And for me, I want to feel focused. I want to be disciplined. I want to perform better, you know? And so, just really think about those things, because those are the most important parts of your journey. And acknowledge your relationship with food as something that can make or break that. And it seems kind of silly to say, and it may even sound kind of weird to hear, but for me, I just go back to that place of being over 100 pounds overweight and knowing, how I felt about myself and what happened in my life that contributed to the behaviors that led to overeating to the point of being 100 pounds overweight. There was a reason why I overate that much in my life. And so you have to really take that day by day, because it doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly. And just like weight comes off slowly, weight comes on slowly. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I don't want you to think for a second that if you're struggling or it feels hard that you're alone in this, or that you just don't have what it takes, because that's not the case. There are still days that are hard for me, and I think it's important that you fully understand that, because it's not like some people in this world just have this, imaginary threshold that they can't get over. I think everyone has the same abilities. You just have to understand and really get to know yourself enough to know your limits and know your triggers really well. And tomorrow I'm going to make another video about that for you guys. The next 2 weeks you're going to have a video every day, and I'm going to talk about a new topic, because I want you guys to understand these things that are really important to how you heal, in my opinion. So go ahead and, post your comments below. Feel free to talk about your experiences with cleaning for the past 2 weeks, how you've noticed a change in yourself, what you've noticed about yourself if you've given into a trigger or into a craving or whatever. And then also I want you guys to post about your experiences with posting this stuff publicly to your friends and family, and how that made you feel. So it's really important to talk about these things. So I'm about ready to work out. I'm like jolted out. Just go ahead and post below, and I look forward to reading your comments.